is the frequency.
This is going to be just a very informal kind of video. I'm trying to answer a couple questions from a viewer who asked some great questions. This is in regards to a video that I done, Baofeng UV-5R Mini, and I believe it was programming. And I always extend this out to everybody. If you have any questions in regards to ham radio, I would be more than happy to answer them, and I'll do everything that I can to find the answers, and if I can't, then I'll try to direct you where to find them. If you are new to ham radio, welcome. If you're looking to get into ham radio, I hope that you do. It's a lot of fun. There are a lot of good people. Please don't let the sad hams, don't let them ruin this for you, because they are few and far between. We are all not like that, and the majority of people that I found in the ham radio community are actually very helpful. So please stick with it. Be looking down here as I read this. This is a question from Poppy NOKC 1977, and he asked the question, so could an operator put the exact settings in and it work on a pair of 5R minis? Also, as a substitute, could local repeaters be used instead of national repeaters? Thanks in advance, and great tutorial. Thank you. Also, which channel is the device have to be on? And do both devices have to be programmed? I'm going to kind of break this video down into answering those questions as you ask them. I think I know where you're going with these questions, so hopefully I can get you going in the right direction. So the first question, can an operator put the exact settings in and it work on a pair of 5R minis? So if I'm understanding you correctly, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get two Baofeng minis, and you're trying to get the settings exactly the same and the channels exactly the same. In other words, you're trying to clone from one to the other. And the answer to that is yes, you can. I'm going to tell you the easiest way and then the next easiest way. The first way that I would do that is I would go into Chirp. I would put in all the channels that you want with their names, the frequencies. If you're going into the repeaters, then you're going to have to get the CTCSS codes. And actually in Chirp, you can use a query and you can actually download a whole list of your local repeaters. That's definitely something to take advantage of. Then what you can do is you can write that to the radio, to one of your Baofeng UV-5R minis. And then what you can do is you could save that configuration. You could disconnect that one once it's all done, and then basically do the same thing for the next one. But this time you're going to download that saved file, and then you're going to import that in, and it's going to fill all of those spaces. You write it to your radio, and now you have two that are exactly the same. The next best thing is to use the Bluetooth app. I'm not going to lie here. I have not had a chance to really mess with this in terms of the Bluetooth app, so I really don't use it very much. Actually, I don't. I used it for the video, and that's the only time I used it, honestly. I would use Chirp. That's just me. I'm sure with the Bluetooth app, you can put in all the parameters of all the different settings and all the different configuration, and I'm sure that you could probably save that configuration somewhere on there and then disconnect from the one radio that you just programmed, Bluetooth connect to the other radio, and I think you would be able to either import that configuration that you just used. You can probably import it. The second question, can local repeaters be used instead of national repeaters? I think I'm understanding what you're saying. You can use your local repeaters that are going to be your local operators. They transmit into the repeater, then you can hear it. They might be 10 miles away to the west. You're 10 miles away to the east. So you're able to use that repeater to go from one to the other. You can hit it, and then those can go back out to you. That's a local repeater. There are areas that do have linked repeaters, both ham radio and GMRS, that are able to link a little bit more of an area. That is kind of like a regional thing. Now, let's say that you wanted to talk to somebody from the east. Let's say you're on the east coast and they're on the west coast. The repeaters aren't going to link that far. But there is a way that you can do it. You can actually talk to somebody over the world through a repeater. Let's talk about the first way, and that is you can use a repeater that is linked to the Echolink system. How this works is you have your Baofeng UV-5R in your hand. You're near your repeater, and your repeater has that capability where it's linked into the Echolink system. You can then take your handheld or whatever you have radio, you can go into that repeater, CTCSS tone and all that stuff. That other person on Echolink can then connect into that repeater from anywhere. Well, I shouldn't say anywhere in the world, but you got to have internet. You could be in Canada and they could be in Argentina. They could be in Asia. You could be over in Europe. You are able with your radio to go into that repeater, and then that other person is able to use Echolink to then get into that repeater and then talk to you. And it's vice versa. Echolink is available for download. I have it on my phone. Another option, if you are looking to have an expanded area to talk to, you can use things like Yaesu System Fusion, ICOM's D-Star. You can use the DMR network. There's All-Star, Echolink. I'm sure I'm probably missing some, but you can also use those in your home with a hotspot. I'm actually going to have a video coming out soon where I have a new radio, a new DMR radio, and I'll be showing that. So for the third question, which is which channel does a device have to be on? I hope I can get this right for you, and I hope I'm understanding the question here correctly. It depends on how you're going to program your radio, like a Baofeng UV-5R Mini. And you have two modes. You have a frequency mode, or also called VFO, and then you also have a channel mode, which is basically where you have a frequency. Maybe you have where it's going into a repeater. So you're going to have the transmit and receive offset frequencies programmed in there. Then you're going to have the CTC SS tone. If I'm understanding this question correctly, those are the two kind of basic modes of your radio. So which channel does the device have to be on? Well, you have to operate within if you have a ham radio license, or you're going to get one, you have to operate within the national frequency range. For instance, 2 meter, which is around 144 megahertz, or 70 centimeter, which is around 440 megahertz. And so long as you are operating in those frequencies and one radio is programmed to, let's say, national calling frequency 146.520, other radio is programmed to 146.520, then you can communicate by what they call simplex, which is basically going from radio to radio. I hope I got that answered for you. Please let me know. That I was a little bit confused on that one, so let me know if I got that for you. Question 4 is, do both devices have to be programmed? Yes. So you can just put in, like, if you're just going to leave both devices on, let's say, frequency mode or VFO mode, you could just leave those on those modes, and then you could program just right off the keypad. Let's say, going back to the example of the 2 meter national calling frequency, you would just put in 146.520, your other radio 146.520, and then you'd be able to communicate between the two, again, using simplex, which means radio to another radio. If you want to look at it this way, this is a lot like our phones, our cell phones that we use. You have to know the number that you're calling to get to that other phone, and vice versa. They need to have the same number to respond to you back. You call them, you leave a voicemail. Your frequencies need to be set to the same thing. If you have 146.520 on one radio, you're going to have 146.520 on the other radio. By the way, these are great questions. Phenomenal. Thank you. Thank you for asking them, and thank you for taking the time to watch the video and comment. This is why I do this, honestly. It's awesome. I really appreciate it. I hope that I cleared this up. If I didn't, please let me know. I'll either respond to the comment, or, again, if I need to make another video, even if I need to make a short or whatever, so that hopefully I can get you going down the right path. And if I can't, I'll try to direct you on where to go. Thank you. Poppy No KC 1977. Thank you for the wonderful question, and I hope that I got you directed on where to go. 73, everybody.